What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconerizonechannel for another daily news slash me going off a specific topic video. This one, as you can see, is about the captaincy at the club, which is a good point to talk about because I think it's up for debate and among fans over here on the channel, but just in general, it's a topic. It's a big topic. But before we get into it, please like the video because it helps us out, and the likes have been dropping. Not the views, but the likes have been dropping, which is weird. So please hit that button. It only takes one click. But yeah, let's get into the news, and it's about the captaincy. And as you can see on the thumbnail on the news, it's about Locatelli getting that potential captaincy. You would think, going off the source or like going off the news report. I will read out the news report first, saying Locatelli, once signed permanently, because he's basically still on loan, will sign a long contract with Juve. Within the Bianconeri circles, he's considered the captain of the future that is after Bonucci and Danilo. Now, the captaincy is, I think it is very important. Obviously, it is important. It is. But it lost value within the club the last 2 years. The way we handled it, it was based on games played for the club, basically. And I don't believe that's how you choose a captain, because not everyone is a leader. It is what it is. It doesn't mean you have played many games for the club that you can lead. It's not that you are a fantastic player that you can lead. I don't believe that's the case. I think a lot of people would agree. It's, can you lead a locker room? Can you probably take a lot of the blame when things go south? Can you say the right things and understand the moments when fans are angry, when fans want to hear certain things? Even if you try to trick fans, that's okay. Like, you need to know when you need to say certain things. And I don't think the last couple of years, especially last 2 years, that's been a good thing. It hasn't. Allegri changed his policy because it's not really based on games for the club now. It's not, but I think it's still wrong. It's still wrong for me. The captain, he needs to play. Obviously, he doesn't need to be the best player on the pitch, or even in the squad. He doesn't need to be that guy, but he needs to be a guy who always plays, who guarantees you a steady game week in, week out. It doesn't need to be an 8 out of 10 every week, but it also cannot be a 5 out of 10 most of the weeks. It needs to be steady. 6, 6, 6.5, 6, like 7, 8, like, okay. But it needs to be steady. And of course, he needs to lead. Now, Bonucci, he cannot lead. Like, I'm sorry. I think everybody who watched that All or Nothing documentary, that was that was a propaganda which came off very corny, in my opinion. Like, it looked fake, everything looked fake, and he just gives you that vibe, that it doesn't come across as genuine. He comes across as, I'm the captain, look at me. I don't know, it comes across really, really fake. It doesn't come across genuine. And going off some reports and the things he says sometimes, that's not the way a leader should be, speaking, which is fine. He's not one, in my opinion. Is Locatelli one? No way. At this moment in time, no way. For obvious reasons. One, he's not a fixed starter, which is a problem, in my opinion. Like, if the coach is looking at you, and he admitted, like, he did that big interview saying that's my midfield three. Locatelli was on the bench. I don't know how that works. Like, the captain needs to be on the pitch 90% of the games because he is that good, or like he's that solid. He's gonna play most of the time. So I don't believe Locatelli is at that stage. I don't want to hear he loves the club. I get that. He understands the club. Maybe, like, he's been a fan. He's been here for a year now or 2 years. I don't know. Does he understand the club already? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that's mid in his own. But like, supporting the club doesn't mean you understand how to be a leader. But just because you love the club ever since you was a kid. I don't believe that. So he doesn't come across to me as a leader. Danilo, that might sound controversial, but he comes across as a leader. The problem is the club is pushing that in such an obvious way on social media that it gets a lot of backlash. I think that's the only reason, because when he speaks, yes, at times it sounds like, oh, again, you said that last week, and I said that on the channel. Like, you said that, okay, and the club is pushing that way too much. Like, it's way too obvious, which makes it, in a situation we are in as a club, like, not everything is rosy. It makes fans go, against the grain. That's how it is. It is what it is. But he seems to me like a leader. Like, when I look at him, I'm like, okay, he can lead. I believe, like, when he's out there speaking on the pitch, I kind of buy into it. That's it. Compared to Bonucci, I buy into it. And then when you look at the entire squad, it makes you think, who is that leader? Like, who is the undisputed captain? Like, who is that guy where you're looking at and you're like 100, like when you see Chiellini, you're like 100%. That's a captain. When you see Buffon, Del Piero, like, you just felt that the way they were on that pitch, the way they spoke, the way they acted off the field, all those things, you're like, that's the captain. That's the guy I want my club to be represented by. Off the field, when they're at, I don't know, even if they're doing things not related to the club, going to, I don't know, a big party, I don't know what it is, like a gala, I don't know, and they ask him something, you're like, "Ugh, he's not gonna say some, mad things. Like, it's gonna come across good, clean, that's it, no issues." Besides Danilo, not one player gives me that vibe, not one. Like, and that's, I believe that's worrying, because you need a strong leader, especially at this moment in time. And I think that's why they're pushing that long-term deal, which I don't really agree with. Okay, but I think that's part of it, because I think the club feels like, okay, that's the only leader we have. We're moving into a direction where we're bringing in a lot of young players, unknown, unproven players, not, with a lot of experience. We need to keep that one guy. And they're pushing Bonucci out of the club. So, excuse me, that makes me think that, okay, they are actually moving into a different direction. But looking at this squad now, and you can go from top to bottom, the only player I'm looking at, I'm like, he could be the captain. He's closest to being a captain, in my opinion, or what a captain should be. It's Danilo, because Vlahovic cannot be a captain because he's very emotional on that pitch. He gets very angry, upset. As a captain, you cannot be that. Like, you need to be the leader on that pitch. Like, when players look at you, they don't need to see you moan every single time and all. And that's how Danilo is. Vlahovic is. I don't think he wants to be a captain anyway. But like Chiesa, like, he doesn't give you captain vibe. And I don't think he should be captain. Pressure, all those things. It's fine. Let him be Chiesa. But just go from player 1 in that squad until player 23. I don't know how much, but how many we are this time, because we added Sule and Junior and all those guys. But like, there's no leaders in that team. Like, they're just not, and that's very worrying. And it's a decision that's gonna be made, and I do believe it's gonna be Danilo, because he's gonna get a new deal. Bonucci, they're trying to move out, and Locatelli's not even like a fake starter. Like, and Allegri admitted it, and I don't think he has those qualities at this moment in time. I don't believe that. But that's the situation. I do believe we need one, or like one person that steps up and is like, okay, it's gonna be like this. And he speaks when things are very difficult, and he takes the blame, and he shifts the blame away from players, because players get targeted by media, fans, and he needs to be that guy who's taking the blame away, basically. I think that's what a captain needs to do. Also, lead on that pitch. I don't think Danilo lacks that, leading on the pitch. Like, I don't think he lacks that. You can debate, is he quality enough? That's a different debate, talking about captaincy. At this moment in time, looking at that squad, I do believe Danilo is the captain of the team. I think even without wearing the armband, the feeling I have is, in the locker room, if people are looking towards at someone to ask for advice or anything, I'm leaning towards they actually are gonna go to Danilo. I actually, because Bonucci is not a guy who, the way he acts, the way he speaks, that he's like, he invites you to come over and have a chat about certain things. Like, maybe we are completely wrong, and we're just basing it on what we see. Maybe in the locker room he's a great guy and open, to talk with everyone, help and all those things. But he doesn't really come across like that guy. So yeah, let's see what it's gonna be, starting off in January, because I don't think Bonucci is gonna play a lot of games. I think we saw that towards the back end before the World Cup in November. He's gonna get benched quite a lot. Now he's injured, but just in general, I think he's gonna be benched quite a lot. The club is trying to move him out, so I do believe Danilo will take that role upon him, given by Allegri. But let me know in the comments what you think. Who you think has the best qualities to become a captain? Who it should be, and what do you think about the story about Locatelli possibly being it down the line? Maybe, but I'm just saying not now. And when not now, I mean not in the coming 1-2 years. I just don't see it. But let me know. Maybe you disagree, which is fine. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and stay tuned because Justin and Julian are doing a live, the live daily show that will be live today in a few hours. So please check that out, and we will see you back live, I think, on Saturday after the Juve Arsenal game. We're gonna do a post-match game just for the fun. I hope it's gonna be fun. So stay tuned, like the video, subscribe, and we will see you back tomorrow. Ciao, guys.